Dan, we've learned a lot. Uh, Before the war, there were predictions, including by some of the most senior military officers in the United States, that Russian forces could seize Kyiv within 2 days. As it turned out, the Ukrainians have fought effectively and courageously. They've used the equipment that the West has provided quite skillfully. And so suddenly the Russians are now on the defensive. There's a large column of armored vehicles north of Kyiv that's taking a real battering. The Russians are stronger in the east and maybe wanting to reposition forces to the east to achieve a victory, because right now the Ukrainians, the international community, see Russia more as a loser than a winner.
Bill, have the latest round of talks given you any hope that a breakthrough might be near? US officials in the aftermath of this latest round of peace negotiations, if you can even call it that, in Istanbul, saying that it looks like Russia is now underway with no such retreat or withdrawal. Your view?
There's a bit of confusion about what they're negotiating. Is it a ceasefire or is it a final peace agreement? And then there's the question of what the sides want. The Russians seem to want to be able to hold parts of Ukraine, probably the parts where their forces occupy Ukraine. The Ukrainians want security guarantees, and they're talking about neutrality, but it's a kind of neutrality in which the security guarantors, such as the US, NATO countries, would not be able to have forces in Ukraine. So it would be hard to guarantee Ukraine's security under circumstances like that. And then there are the Western sanctions, the economic sanctions and the confiscated assets of Russian central bank, giving the West enormous amount of economic leverage to influence the outcome. The West may not be willing to give up that economic leverage as long as there are any Russian troops in Ukraine.
What do you think would be acceptable to both sides?
It's still hard to tell. And again, the West is, in some sense, a partner in this. Ukraine Russian forces to stay in parts of Ukraine. The West may not, be willing to reduce the economic sanctions. For Russia, it's going to be important that those sanctions go away, because the economy in Russia is being crippled by the sanctions.